welcome! I'm Naya and today we are going to talk about how to propagate philodendrons, pothos and other similar plants, but also how to take care of them and avoid some basic mistakes that might be ruining our plant's growth. If your plants are looking leggy and long like this and bold in the pot, you might need to consider propagating them and planting the new growth again back in the same pot in order to achieve a more fuller look, like these photos that we see on Instagram and Pinterest. The reason behind leggy plants is that sometimes we are not providing them enough light, so they try to grow long in order to have a chance of fighting that light that they're missing. So instead of getting a beautiful and full plant, we are getting long, leggy vines with not enough leaves to please the eye. Some months ago, I did propagate a Philodendron Brazil, but I left the center of the pot empty in purpose because I wanted to propagate once again and make this little pot look the fullest it can be. Before we dive into how to take care of these beauties, let's go ahead and propagate them. When propagating philodendrons, the thing that we need to look for is the part that is called a node. So, a node is this one, here. Here we have the old leaf, the new leaf will appear in the middle, and the new roots will start forming in here. As you can see, it is already ready to make some new roots. When we are ready, what we are going to do is locate the node and take a sterilized pair of scissors and cut here an inch or a centimeter in the branch. So we will put this into water, but the best practice is to let it dry first, so we will avoid rotting. After cutting the node, the first leaf, we are left with a piece of branch, but we don't need this, so we will remove that. Then we are continuing the same way for the next leaf, and we cut it here. Keep in mind that sometimes the roots, because we were late to propagate the vine, are kind of dry, but look here. This one will be a really healthy root. So we leave this stem to dry and we will put it in water. Philodendrons and pothos are propagated the same way. This one is a Philodendron Brazil, and you can see here the roots, and they are healthy and new. But I'm not going to propagate this part yet because the new stem here, the new plant, is really small and young. So I will wait till we have the shape of the leaf, till the leaf opens, and then we are going to propagate this. When we have our leaves ready, it's time to put them in the water. After, of course, we let them dry for a while. So here I have some water, and I wanted to share with you a little trick that I've learned throughout the years. If we want to maximize our rates of avoiding rot, what we can do is head over to the kitchen and get some cinnamon or turmeric powder. And take a leaf like this one and just dab some cinnamon at the cutted parts. So this way we will have higher success in propagating it. So let me show you once again, but with turmeric this time. We take our leaf and we just dab some turmeric powder at the freshly cut parts, and we let it dry this stem a bit. So here it is, and after that we are free to put it in the water. You could also just let them dry, as I said earlier. Let them dry like this and put them into the water. Here we have the pieces that we propagated, and now let me talk about how to take care of philodendrons. If you liked this video and learned something new, sprinkle some of your fairy dust over the subscribe button so we can grow our community together. Philodendrons are plants that are easy to take care of and really hard to kill, but still we need to know how to make them more happy, full and lively. When you want to water your philodendron, what you need to check is that the first top inch of the soil is already dry and has no moisture at all, because we don't want to create some root rot or damage to our plant. Philodendrons are like the rest of our houseplants. We need to check the soil first before proceeding to water them. When you spend some time into the hobby, you come to realize that there are no plants that love low light situations. Instead, all plants love a good amount of light, and it is vital to their growth. If you let a plant sit in a low light situation for a really long time, their growth will be stunted. They will look miserable and their patterns will start to fade. So no matter if you have a dual color plant, you will end up with one color and miserable. Philodendrons like to have a good draining soil. Yes, they love moisture, but they do not like to sit in a soggy soil, because that could lead to root rot. Do not go ahead and repot your philodendron before you see the signs that it needs to be repotted. And these signs are a stunned growth, your plants try to escape, they become leggy, and the roots are going out of the pot. When we see that our philodendrons are showing us signs that they need to be repotted, what we are going to do is to choose a pot one size bigger than the current pot, because if we put the philodendron in a really big pot, what we see from experience is that philodendrons start to make roots till the pot is almost full, and they stunt their growth during this process. Of course, making roots is a growth part, but when I'm talking about growth, I mean foliage growth. We have come to the fertilizing part of the video, and as for fertilizing, philodendrons are just like the other houseplants that we have, and that means that we fertilize philodendrons during the growth months of the year. You could actually just fertilize it every time that you water it, but of course the amount of fertilizer would be much less.